Mark Douglas Spiegel was born into an amazing family where all of his basic needs were met. Security, safety, food, water, warmth, and rest, and above all, love. Love from his microsystem that Bronfenbrenner deemed the most significant of his relationships. His family, his neighbors, his brothers, his mom and dad were there to support him in everything he did. And this is why he came out on the favorable side of Erikson's stages of social emotional development. Trust, autonomy, initiative, industry, identity, intimacy, these were operations that were built upon through the amazing childhood that Mark was presented with. This gift was surrounded by community, a community that Dewey knew was the key to the educational whole. Mark was an extrovert by nature. He learned best when interacting with others. Dewey knew this to be key to an educational development, and Gardner did too. He understood that Mark was not only word smart, body smart, but people smart as well. Mark took this environmental education into his St. Regis career. This was an elementary school based on Catholic traditions. Dewey would have hated this system. The system was not child-centered, and the classroom revolved around the teacher. There was an enjoyment of community, though. The social world revolved around mass, and faith played an important role. At around 7, Mark understood industry and inferiority, and understood his competence in the world of math, science, and literature. Mark also began to become a perfectionist, as initiative gave way to guilt, and purpose got mixed up with what you do rather than who you are. This perfectionist attitude allowed Mark to straddle Kohlberg's ladder of moral development between obtaining personal goals through achievement and following family and group rules. His microsystem was telling him one thing and the world was telling him to be another. Mark struggled with identity, yet in the end found his unique character thriving in the people around him. High school was much the same. Mark, being people smart, loved to find himself in intimate relationships of affection. He strived and thrived in big groups of people who longingly wanted to be a part of something bigger than himself. Faith became an important part, and real-life opportunities and experiences began to pave the way to his collegiate and high school education. In many ways, Mark's understanding of the world around him was limited. It was limited to what people said, magazines told him, and movies depicted on the big screen. But soon Mark found himself amongst new gypsy kings and queens, sending wishes of love, beauty, grace, hope, friendship, and dreams worth living out. This group embraced a life where relationships reigned supreme. The only currency accepted is laughter, and love's rhythm danced around daily. Together they inspired, dreamed, invited, laughed, road tripped, cooked, created, innovated, pondered, shared, relied, believed, and promoted that life was not only worth living, but worth pursuing each other. This pursuit took Mark out of the classroom and into the world, across the world actually, to Japan, China, and Thailand, and back to Colorado again, where he was a wilderness guide with the best friends one could ask for. Was taught and stretched by teachers like Mrs. O and Coach Richardson, who had background interests in things that Mark loved and helped to make sense of the world. Like Dewey said and Vygotsky instructed, Mark was a product of his environment, Ubuntu. He was because they were.